Today, I want to tell you about the time that my newsletter list doubled overnight. So in October 2022, I moved my small business newsletter from Flowdesk to Substack. And at that point, I had just under 250 subscribers. By a couple of months later, February 2023, that number had more than doubled. And by the end of 2023, so about a year after I joined Substack, my newsletter list had grown by 500%. So people often assume that that kind of thing happens because of Substack. This is what the platform itself calls the Substack effect, right? This organic, explosive growth once we move our newsletters to Substack. But that wasn't the case for me. Substack, it turns out, was the destination of the growth, but not the engine. In January of 2023, a couple of months after I moved my newsletter to Substack, I was interviewed on the Art Juice podcast, and that interview made my list explode. And this happened pretty much overnight. Within 2 weeks, the size of my list had doubled. And 3 years after that interview, people still find me, new subscribers still find me, and clients still find me from that interview. So it wasn't Substack, it was something else. Now, when I look at sort of my stats for the previous years, I see that about roughly half of new subscribers come from outside of Substack. And that is my website, podcast interviews I did, like my own mini podcast series, some word of mouth, Pinterest. So the Substack network, which brought in a little less than half of new subscribers, is a really lovely thing, but it's definitely not alone in doing heavy lifting. And that is okay. I am kind of naturally very suspicious of relying only on one platform. I've never been comfortable with it. And it makes my business feel fragile if I rely too much on one platform, whether that is Substack or Instagram or whatever. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. And for every platform, no matter how much you love it, and whether it's Substack or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, you're not just working for your own business. A considerable part of what you do by sharing your content on these platforms is working for them, working for their platforms, right? It's the saying, like, if the platform is free, you're the currency. And that is the case, I think, in marketing our small businesses as well. And relying on just one platform and following the hypes and the algorithms and trying to really crack the code, that doesn't fit me as a person. It doesn't fit the kind of business that I want to run, because I want to run a slow and gentle and profitable business that doesn't rely just on one thing. And I especially don't want to rely just on one thing, because that would require me to feel like I have to crack, the code or this month's secret algorithm hack for whatever platform we're using. Now, I still really enjoy writing and sending my newsletters through Substack. I love it for the community that it allows me to build around my newsletter, and also for allowing a little bit of extra income through paid subscribers. But Substack is not a quick fix. Moving your newsletter to Substack or starting a Substack newsletter, for the vast majority of us, will not be the thing that explosively runs our business. Businesses are organic things, right? And they tend to require time to grow. Newsletter growth on Substack and of Substack is a long game. Whatever you do outside of Substack, right, outside of just one platform, this variety that you create by sharing on your website, showing up in other people's audiences, connecting with people, that will do a lot of the work of making your business be successful. So if I look at the growth of my newsletter, and especially that massive growth point in early 2023, Substack wasn't the engine for this growth. Substack was the destination. So if this resonated, if you enjoyed watching this video, my newsletter is where I tend to write about this kind of stuff more, and you can find the link below.